Are you currently in lockdown learning new skills to help you get a job in the near future? Do you own a Nintendo Switch and a copy of Animal Crossing New Horizons? Judging by the sales numbers of Switch items and copies of the game, I suspect you are. These items are by no means cheap, and if you are fortunate enough to own them, why not use them and learn a useful new skill? Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Wonhee. Today's video is about learning how to make mini films with Animal Crossing New Horizons. Specifically, we are going to Harvey's Island to learn tips on how to utilize the facility and how to use your camera to achieve professional looking results. To begin, always start with some kind of outline for your project. I like to use Google Docs to quickly type out some narrative. For very short projects, sometimes that's all you need. For longer projects requiring more detail, use storyboards to plan out shots you want to create. I like to keep it simple and use a sketchbook and a pencil to visualize and organize the content I want to make. Some people prefer to dive right in and start filming content right away without the initial planning. This is fine as well. You do you. When I first started making YouTube videos and mini films, I did not plan them at all. After much frustration and exhaustion, I decided to start planning beforehand to see if it would help ease the process. And of course, now I will never go back. It not only saved much more time in the editing process, I had a much clearer idea of what I needed to create, and I didn't waste time searching through hours of footage that I didn't need, because I already knew what I needed to film before I even started shooting. For video editing software, I recommend getting the Adobe CC subscription. You can call Adobe and tell them you are on a budget and that you want to learn the software but you can't afford the current pricing. They will give you a large discounted rate on the subscription for around 3 months. If you are a student, you can get student pricing. Premiere Pro is pretty much the industry standard for video editing, and knowing the software is a great skill for your portfolio, whether you are aiming to become a director, producer, editor, graphic artist, or motion graphics specialist. Video editing is a skill that is mandatory for producing good content for all social media platforms. Once you have your plan in place, go ahead and fly over to Harvey's Island. Once you are there, you are able to utilize the entire collection of items you've collected over the course of your gameplay. You can use as many copies of the items as you need for your film sets. There are no limits. To access the catalog, press the right direction key of the D-pad on your controller. For this example, I am creating an Italian restaurant scene. I usually just pick the items from my catalog that I will suit the setting. I don't do any decorating until I've picked out a good number of furniture and accessories. I then pick the wall and flooring, and then I start placing the items. To place items, you press the A key. You can rotate the item by pressing A repeatedly. To move the item around, hold the A key and use direction to place in a different spot. To remove the item from the scene, press Y. This will place the item right back into the catalog. When placing, remember to leave room for your character to move around. Your character is the pivot point for the camera. To frame your shots, you'll need at least one block of space to move freely. If you want to create dramatic lighting, there are a few surprising items you can use to create different effects. The bamboo shoot lamp and the dragon egg lamps are wonderful for creating a warm ambient light, as are candles to create a warm flickering romantic ambiance. You can also use the moon item. This is an item you can get from Celeste to create a soft blue-white light to give your characters the impression they are outside at night. You can also create almost any environment inside of Harvey's rooms as long as you have a variety of items in your catalog. It takes around 100 hours of gameplay to acquire enough items for movie making. You can also acquire items by going on cataloging parties to friends' islands or requesting certain items you need on safe Animal Crossing New Horizons Discords, Reddit groups, Facebook groups, and Twitter groups. To use your villagers, just go to the catalog, then press the upper right button on your controller and select the Villagers tab. You will be able to summon any current villager on your island to Harvey's Island. Your villagers are somewhat limited though. You can move them around, have them sit in chairs and do reactions on cue. They can't talk or move around on their own. You will also have clones of your villagers in every room. You have a total of 6 rooms to work with at Harvey's Island. You can also invite more villagers and NPC characters to Harvey's Island by scanning their amiibos. I like to record my conversations with Harvey to create animal-y speech for my villagers. If you want speech with more resonance, you can record blathers in the museum. You may also have some villagers that have very quiet homes. Those villagers are good for audio clips as well. Harvey is a good choice for audio recording speech because there is no background music and he's right outside the door. There are some natural background noises in the audio, but that may be useful, especially for outdoor settings. I use Harvey's voice and remove the video portion by unlinking the audio and video. You can do this in Premiere Pro by right-clicking on the clip and selecting Unlink. Then you place the pitch audio effect on the audio clip. You can get the effect from the Effects tab. You can then change the pitch of the audio. For peppy villagers, you can make the pitch very high. Normal villagers are a little lower, male villagers are the same pitch as Harvey, and cranky villagers, you can set the pitch much lower. When filming and framing your shots, it helps to set up the reactions prior to shooting. You can set your avatar behind or just in front of your villager to frame them properly and then walk out of the shot. At this time, you are not able to set the pivot point of your camera without your own avatar. I'm hoping Nintendo will update this ability. To remove the camera heads-up display, you press your right controller stick. You need to do this every time you are ready to shoot. It is not an actual setting. Perhaps Nintendo will allow players to remove the HUD by default in a future update. Once you have filmed all the footage you need for your film, you can now sit down and edit your shots and really hunker down and learn your favorite editing software. Since you have convenient access to your sets and your talent, it's even easier to go back and create a different look or setting if you feel your footage isn't quite right. This is why Harvey's Island is such a powerful tool for aspiring directors, producers, editors, and motion graphics artists. I hope that this video was helpful to you and your future filmmaking goals. Please let me know if you have any further questions in the comment section below. Also feel free to request other video topics. For more content like this, please like and subscribe for more, and thank you. Be well, be safe, and see you in the next video. I decided to include as a last-minute treat my video from the last video that I just edited. It is a Marshal going on blind dates. So if you want to watch, stay tuned. Marshal. He is one of the most beloved villagers in Animal Crossing. He is also very likely to be popular amongst the villagers living on your island because of his smug, flirtatious, and playful personality. He is very charming, loves to flirt, has the voice of an angel when he sings. He's also intelligent, funny, and romantic. Even with all these amazing traits and his X-Factor boy band good looks, Marshal is also very lonely and longs to find love. He just can't seem to find that special connection with anyone. I spoke to Marshal about his love life. After very little coaxing, Marshal agreed to a few blind dates with villagers I felt were compatible with him. I am so excited to see the outcome. There were a lot of candidates to choose from. Marshal did not specify any particular character traits or preferences, which just makes him more adorable. He left it all up to me to choose for him. I narrowed down the choices to 3 top candidates. Since Marshal is a squirrel, I decided not to include any of the apex predator villagers. Example: wolves, lions, tigers, penguins, eagles, bears, cubs, alligators, and specifically carnivores, dogs, cats, octopuses, frogs, and anteaters. I also eliminated the true vegan species. Example: elephants, koalas, rabbits, rhinos, sheep, goats, cows, horses, and deer, because squirrels are actually omnivores. This leaves all the omnivorous Animal Crossing species. Example: ducks, monkeys, bulls, hamsters, pigs, mice, hippos, ostriches, chickens, and, of course, other squirrels. The first candidate I chose for Marshal is Molly, because she happens to be my favorite villager, and since I adore Marshal as well, I think they would be totally compatible. Plus, they are both smaller in size, and I think they would look adorable together. These are completely superficial reasons, but out of sheer curiosity, I just wanted to see what would happen on a blind date. For the first date, I chose a romantic Italian restaurant called Il Salamino, which means the small salami. Il Salamino features fresh, authentic stone oven pizza with locally harvested produce and locally sourced organic spices and meats. Unfortunately, Marshall and Molly seem to have differences of opinion. As well, they may have overindulged on a few too many mojitos. Blanche and Marshall are meeting up at her favorite French bistro called Quizet de Grenouille. This is a popular restaurant featuring the best deliciously prepared frog legs. Oddly, it is owned by a frog who doesn't seem to mind the cannibalism amongst the species who love to dine on his famous frog legs. For Blair and Marshall, I chose a cozy Japanese toilet restaurant. Luckily, since both Blair and Marshall are very cultured and sophisticated, they understand the cultural humor of toilet-themed restaurants and do not find crappy meal combos and spaghetti and poop balls at all unappetizing. They look forward to ordering the diarrhea cocoa and urine beer.